Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll talk a little bit about blockchain technologies and tokens. So we can see here on CoinMarketCap there are over 11,000 cryptos. And you might wonder, was it hard to create that many or something like that? And the answer here is no. So there are definitely some exceptions which were very hard to implement and very hard to develop. But the majority of all the cryptos there are tokens, meaning that creating a token is not that hard. Even I could do that, and some of you who might have followed Tech Lead, they also might have noticed that he launched his own token, so his million token, and yeah, so you could do that basically in a day or something like that. So all the pump and dump schemes and everything else is usually a token. But okay, let's go on. So we can see here, so what's the actual difference? So, for example, Bitcoin is its own blockchain technology and it also provides the infrastructure. And it has a unique code, more or less, so you can check out the Bitcoin code of Bitcoin. It's the same with Ethereum, again. So these technologies all use their own consensus mechanism. So with Bitcoin it's proof of work, with Ethereum it's proof of work, you might have already known that. Then we've got, for example, Tether. And Tether, that one is a token, but this token is, so when you click on it, so and we open that here, you can see here, and if it says here contracts and Ethereum, then there's an ID. And it's basically the smart contract ID for Ethereum, and also for many other chains. So we can see here there are tokens on the Binance, so there are also smart contracts on the Binance Smart Chain, on Tron, on Tomo Chain, Solana, and so on Algorand. There are assets, and yeah, so so this is, like I said, a token, for example. Binance Coin is again, so the Binance Smart Chain is again its own blockchain. Then we've got Cardano, it's also this XRP, and then there's again USD Coin, which is also a token again. So like I said, again, we can see all the contracts there. Dogecoin is its own blockchain again with its own infrastructure, and again, like they are putting their effort, so it's again based on work. Then we've got Polkadot. I didn't look into that project more deeply, but you can see here again, this one is also Polkadot is again a token, so or more or less a smart contract. So you can see here, so I didn't look more deeply into what Polkadot exactly is. The point I'm trying to make here is that you should always differentiate and compare why if the technology you want to invest into, if it's actually a blockchain, so some with its own infrastructure and everything else, or if it's quote unquote just a token. Because there's a huge difference and it's very important to understand that. Because, for example, if you have, so again, so we've got, for example, Chainlink. Chainlink is again a smart contract, but they are providing data feeds. So for example, that you can generate random numbers and stuff like that, and you're paying with Chainlink. But actually, this one is unique again. So it's basically again a smart contract. But they're providing data feeds and they're using it as payment option. But there are many tokens which don't have which are just there. For example, let's go to Shiba Inu. Why the hell not? Shiba Inu, who would have thought it's in Ethereum 20 smart contract? Yeah, it's an ERC20 token. It's a smart contract, nothing special. And you can see here that this is nothing else but a hype coin. It doesn't really it was created. It has the same. It's like I said. It's running on. It's based on Ethereum, meaning that yeah, it's got all the advantages and disadvantages of Ethereum, and this is what every pump and dump ever looks like, more or less. But to be fair, I guess wait a sec, did it exist earlier? Probably. But like I said, it's just yeah. Then you can create these constantly. You can constantly pump out new things of these and to do that there's zero effort actually. So if that's what I want to highlight here, if you ever intend to invest into something, for example, Algorand, on the other hand, again, is its own blockchain technology, got its own currency on it. They also have assets on it, but it's again, they're into that one. There was hard work put into it. Okay, so meaning that if you invest, for example, in Algorand, you might be on the safe side. It's not an investment advice, but I'm just highlighting here how you should think about things. Like I said, Doge is also it's its own blockchain. That's why I see some value in it. It's obviously, as you might know, it's deflationary. I don't know how many new Doge are being mined. It's not hard capped and stuff like that. I would have to look at it. But let's go to other interesting ones. So whenever you and also never buy something just because it's spammed on Twitter or something like that. They're like always is the next hype token being spammed on Twitter and YouTube and all of that. Don't ever buy into the hype. It's never a good idea, especially if it's just a token, which literally does nothing. Okay, you can continue looking at things here. So, for example, if you would be going back a little bit into the third row, so now here you see here nothing else but ERC20 tokens. So if I would just click on some of these here. So usually they're either, yeah, we can just go through, you can either look at it, and in many cases you can again see that these are just tokens more or less. What I also want to highlight here is not all ERC20 tokens or all smart contracts are bad. Okay, so there are some use cases there and there, but I'm just saying they can be created easily and whenever intended, and it's super easy to launch them all the time. So there's so many projects and so usually whenever there is a pump dump or a hype token, it's always usually always an ERC20 token, and it can give you the best example with Million again, or also with, I don't know if you've heard about that with the Save the Kids token. There was also this token. Who would have thought it's an ERC20? It's again a smart contract. This time's launched on a Binance Smart Chain. What else was there? You can see here there's Baby Dogecoin. There are, yeah, obviously you can clone it a million times again, whatever. So they always add some crazy stuff, add a baby to it, and then it's whatever. Like I said, please don't buy into hype tokens. So it's usually never a good idea. I know, yeah, but the hype token will 100x. Yes, maybe, and maybe it will not recover and be on the ground. So I don't know. It's usually where does the value come from there. It's basically, like I said, just a hype token. The value comes from nothing, more or less. So not from nothing, but the value is in its marketing, nothing else. Meaning that there is a chance that it will not recover. There are many tokens which also existed before 221. And usually these projects, after the hype is gone, the project is still there, but yeah, the price will also devalue, and the chances of recovery are very, very thin. So these are just my 2 cents on the entire matter. So, but I just wanted to highlight here that you a little bit understand that is it the own blockchain technology? Can you even look at the source code? So it's also an important part. Yes, you can also look at the source code from the smart contract. But for example, also if you go at any other project, so for example, whatever, let's say Cardano, for example, you can go to the official website there. And what we want to know, usually they have a developer section, that's very important, and then go to the Cardano docs. So always, because if it's its own blockchain technology, then you have lots of things being explained here, and it shows you how you can code with it, how you can interact with it. They are showing you the frameworks and so on. And that's, like I said, that's where value, in my humble opinion, lies. So having actually something you can also use, not just a hype token. I don't know. Let's quickly look at Shiba Inu again. So what is that? So let's look at that. So you can see here, this is my contract. So I can just copy that. We can go to etherscan.io and just paste the smart contract address here. You can see the token also. Like I said, it's just a contract. Then you can see here the source code. Like I said, who would have thought? It's an ERC20 token. So this interface, they're implementing it. So yeah, safe map. So nothing of that is yet their own work. So here it starts. Yep, look at that. So the entire Shiba Inu code is whatever, 200 to 300 lines of code. So I hope nobody's that ridiculous and wants to tell me, yes, that was a lot of work and effort put into it. Come on. These here are 500 lines for the entire Shiba Inu token. There's no special thing on there. They might have a funny gimmick, maybe. But that's it. Like I said, somebody could copy and paste the code, launch its new token, just change some variables instead of Shiba Inu, and it would rename it to something else, and that's it. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight it here. Yeah, but the content creation, that's when we would specify that. But yeah, there are nice tools on Etherscan, so you can also see the transactions. What you can also see, wow, there's not much going on with Shiba Inu. You can see here that it's just whatever, a few transactions a day, so basically nothing. Then you can look at the contract again, like I said. You can also, in the contract itself, you can see you can get the values. For example, you can find out the balance, the supply. You can also see who created it, because the creator is that one here. This is the person who created Shiba Inu, or the account. And the Shiba Inu creator, if you scroll down, you can see, oh, who would have thought? The Shiba Inu creator also has lots of other different tokens. Well, we can look at how many tokens this account already created. Shibas, okay, Shiba Swap, fair enough. What else is there? Shiba Inzi, what? Okay, Shiba Inu Bones, so some other crazy stuff there. Okay, Matic Swap, Inu Swap, Git. So you can look at it and go through everything, but usually the people launching hype tokens do it a lot or very often. And yeah. And then you can also look at basically what the person did with his own funds, so just also look at it again. How much Shiba Inu is the person? So this is Bone, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Can't tell you that right now here. You can also look at. Okay, yeah. Like I said, you would have to look at all the data here basically, and try to go over it, so won't do that now. But yeah, that's the very important part. Like I said, always be able to differentiate between a token, which is just a smart contract anybody can deploy rather quickly, if there's no additional gimmick to it, like if you don't add something of value to that smart contract, and if it's just, like I said, a token which entitles you to nothing. And yeah, it's a token and it lives on Ethereum, and when you want to send the token, we will pay the ETH gas fees and stuff like that. Then it's normally, well, useless. So it might be hype, so there might be hype around it. That's it basically. Yeah. You can also, like I said, you can see here all the data, all the info here, and right. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope I was able to make the point, to make you understand more or less what a blockchain technology with its own token, a native asset on the blockchain is, and what a just a token is launched in Ethereum network on the Binance Smart Chain and so on. So the only thing I want to give you away is, please, if you intend to buy a token in large quantities, please understand what the use case is, why it's there. There are tokens in which you can invest, which are okay, which have a purpose, but please don't ever invest into hype tokens if you don't know what you're doing. because hype tokens usually, like I said, a hype token, the only value is in the hype, so having that many people talk about that particular token, nothing else, because it doesn't offer any special thing here. But okay, alright then, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.